everyone. It's Dorina here again from the Side Hustle, where we make your business our business. Today we have the segment Kingdom Principles to Effectively Run Your Businesses. And we have with us a minister, an entrepreneur, a life coach, and his name is dadsonogbor. And he's going to tell us a little bit about himself. So, hello, Dadson. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much, Doreen. Thank you so much for having me. I'm truly honored, and I count this a privilege to be here today on
Thank
your show.
Thank you for making the time to come visit with us and share with us what you are all about. And I want you to give us a little bit idea about who you are, your background, where you come from, what you're doing, and all that.
Okay, basically, I'm the founder of a ministry called Winning Life Christian Center, basically dedicated to share using the Word of God to inspire people and to build temples, basically, like looking at what people are capable of and providing them with the content from the Word of God to inspire them enough to be every single thing that God has called them to be. I'm also a smart coach. I've got a couple of companies, probably would have time to get into them in a bit, but I run a company called Smart Coach. It's basically a company that provides e-learning for entrepreneurs. So we do enterprise education. We also do business development services as a company. It's called Smart Coach. I also run another company called Mindwise Consulting. So where we provide training and consulting services to people, organizations, and to individuals.
Awesome. That's a whole lot of things that you do. But what are you majoring on at the
Yeah.
moment? What is your side hustle, or are you doing all these projects in one?
My major side, if I put it that way, I won't call it a side hustle, but the main things that I do, apart from preaching the gospel, the main thing that I do is coaching and training. So my company basically organizes workshops and seminars, and then we get engaged by organizations and individuals to run workshops and seminars for entrepreneurs and for corporate organizations.
Awesome. So obviously your business and your enterprises are not only for Christians, because when you say you have seminars, I'm sure there are not only Christians coming in. I just want you to tell us
Yeah.
your principles that you are going to share, even though it's Christian based, everybody else is free to use it. Is that so?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's interesting for me to point out that being a person of faith, I've seen throughout the scriptures that there's a lot that we can learn, that business people actually can learn, from branding to some of the things that we'll be talking about today. And these principles that we get from the scriptures are already being applied in the corporate world. It's certain quarters where people are using these same principles and they are making a profit year in, year out. And their businesses consistently thrive because they operate principles. It has nothing to do with whether or not, if someone were to be a non-believing Christian or someone were to be of another religion and they operate these principles, it will still work for them. So it has to do with everybody.
Not to take any of your time, but please go ahead and tell us exactly what you think running a business with the kingdom principles can be about, what it is about, how we can implement it in our businesses. And please just go ahead.
Let me talk about, I'll start out basically talking about or trying to address kingdom-minded people. When I say kingdom-minded people, I'm talking about people of faith, people who believe in God, but still operate their businesses, right? So we are in a place where we think that in the part of the world where I'm from, certain people would rather spend a lot of time praying over their businesses.
That's right.
As opposed to actually activating principles and doing the right things. So while you're busy praying, your business is going down because you are trying to use prayer as an exchange for what I'll be talking about: diligence. I'll talk about work ethic. I'll talk about value proposition, value offerings. I'll talk about excellence today. So these are basically four things I will talk about. So the fact that I'm a effective prayer warrior cannot it does not translate into profit in my business. There are things that I must do. Our world is governed by laws, the laws of gravity, the laws of cause and effect. These principles operate regardless of who is operating them. I know you're a mom, Doreen, and if you had a light switch in your house, right?
Yeah.
And you turn on that light switch, assuming all things are equal, like there's power in the house. What happens, and the bulb, of course, is working. What happens is that the light switch is going to come on, right?
That's true.
So if your child basically comes to touch that particular switch, the light is going to come on as well.
Yeah.
It doesn't, it's no, the principles are no respect of persons.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of the person involved being able to engage those principles and do it. If you do what is right,
Yeah.
right? If you do what is right, you will see results in your business. It's as simple as that. If you are a business person, I don't know if we would have time to get into it, and you are not doing any form of marketing, it doesn't matter how fantastic your product is, people have to be aware of the products that you have out there, right?
Okay.
People have to be aware that this product is useful and it solves their problems, right? So I don't know if we'll take a break or you just want me to keep talking. It's just...
Well, I'm just excited about what is going to happen right now, because we are,
Okay.
and it's interesting you mentioned that, because I am originally from Ghana. I'm living in South Africa. You are in Nigeria. And in our world, or in our country, what we say normally is that in Ghana, about 90% of the population is Christian. And it will amaze you to know that they spend more of their business hours in church asking God to provide for them or bless their business. Yet they put somebody
Yeah.
in there and leave the space and expect a miracle. Unfortunately, we are doing the right things at the wrong time. Prayer is not, you're not saying here now that prayer is a bad thing, but when you do not apply the principles that are supposed to govern your business and you do the wrong thing at the right time, then of course you don't get any result. So I'm not going to keep you from anything. I just want you to go ahead, state all the principles, and we are taking notes.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much for putting that out. And obviously, I've already said, that prayer is not a substitute for these principles that we'll be sharing. They're not all the principles. There are a lot of principles, but for want of time, we would basically just touch on this particular four, right? So the first thing I'll talk about is diligence, right? Diligence. It doesn't matter the kind of ideas that you have. It doesn't matter what it is that you have to be diligent. All right, Bible basically teaches us, Proverbs 12:24. It says, the hand of the diligent will bear rule. The person who is diligent, here's that man who is diligent, he will stand before kings and near men. A person who is diligent is that person who has seen a vision and they are resilient enough to work on that vision until it becomes a reality. It will take time. They understand it clearly, but they will be diligent. They will work at it until it works. Resilience simply speaks about the ability to spring back quickly into shape. So if I set out a business, if I set out on a business, I come up with an idea. I think this idea is fantastic. One of the things that I do is to coach and mentor entrepreneurs, startups, right? So we find people come up with fantastic ideas and they're very excited about it, right? But do you have the ability to sustain that excitement over a period of time, right? Because things would arise to discourage you.
That's true.
When you probably would have the idea that is a fantastic idea, and you will not have the funds to push it. Or you have the funds, but you don't have a strategic idea to put it together. Or you have the funds, you have the idea, but you don't have the team to work with. Or you don't have a capable team. So at the end of the day, it is important that you are diligent, that you are consistent with what you're doing. The next thing I'll talk about is work ethic. All right, I see this clearly. And on the work ethic, we can talk about consistency. We can talk about developing product knowledge. You have to know what you're selling. One of the things some entrepreneurs would ask me, what skills would I tell an entrepreneur to develop? What would be the most important skill in my mind for them to develop in terms of chasing their business? I'd always say the ability to sell. The ability to sell, right? You find that some people have fantastic ideas, but they don't know how to sell it. And when I talk about making sales or selling, I'm not just talking about the exchange of a product and money, no, but I'm talking about being able to communicate that vision, that idea to your internal customers and to your external customers. Your internal customers being like your team members, people within your group, your employees within that business, your external customers, the people who pay for the products and services that you're offering, right? So you have to have enough product knowledge, enough to be able to bring all these people together, to sell the idea to them, to make them see where you're going to. It's a vision you have. You're excited about it. You're consistent with the vision. You know how that you find some people who tell you, so what line of business are you into? Well, I'm in real estate. Yeah. Right? And then 2 months later, you probably meet them somewhere and you see them in another line of business. Yeah. Maybe they've switched to agriculture. Like, man, real estate does not work. I've been there. I actually spent 6 months trying to chase real estate. It's not working. Let's do agriculture. Agriculture is the main thing now. And you focus on agriculture for a while and you see, well, next thing they check out, you are not consistent, right? You check out, you go into to mining, you go into pharmaceuticals. Now, I'm not saying that you cannot branch out or you cannot diversify your investment. That's not what I'm saying. I also have business interests. There are things that I'm interested in. But whatever it is that you are interested in as a business person, it is important that you are consistent with it. It is important that you develop the work ethic to create the results that you want. That's true. Someone said something to me a while ago and it stuck. It said to me that for it to work, it will require work. Mm-hmm. For your business to work, it will require work. That's true. All right? Yes. So these are valuable principles that if we literally take a hold of these principles and begin to apply them in our business, we would experience growth. It might take time, no doubt. It's going to actually take time. You know, it's not like when you put these things together, it happens like magic, but that consistency would allow you to develop the kind of results that you want. Next thing is your ability to offer. What is your unique value proposition? What are you offering? Now, because of what I do, right? I'm paid to speak at conferences, at workshops, at seminars, and to do all that. And what is my unique selling proposition? Why should people listen to me? All right? What makes me special? What makes me different from every other life coach or smart coach around the world? What makes me different? I have to be able to develop that unique selling proposition. Next thing I'll talk about is that I have to be in a place to offer my products and services, be willing to become a walking a compendium of useful information. In other words, with my social media handles, I'm consistently giving out to people. I'm pushing out content that helps people, right? We're in the digital age, so where you have to be out there, you have to be giving and giving and giving and giving. That's how you grow your community. That's how you get people to be aware. And that organic growth, right, comes with a reward system such that people will be able to reward you because you have given to them consistently. Let's say you are in the dental business, for example, and on your social media handles, you are giving out dental advice for free. Yeah. You know, telling people how to, you know, take care of their dental health, and you are consistently putting this out and providing useful information to people. What happens, or the resultant effect of that offering, of that giving, is that you will find people who become committed to you. So here's the thing. Once you have developed the following, like on your YouTube channel, for example, you can begin to monetize products and services, digital products. You can begin to develop your own dental products and that you're putting out there. And because you have a community, people will buy into the products and the services that you're offering, right? So the next thing is excellence. Excellence, right? Excellence would make you different from everybody else, right? Whatever it is that you are doing, you have to do it in an excellent fashion. You have to do it so well that, you begin to, stand out. I talked about your unique selling proposition. So I find in my country, you'll find someone who's a believer who will tell you to just manage it, like they've done something for you. And I'm like, listen, if I'm paying for a service, you have to make sure that the service that you're providing to me is worth the money that I'm paying for it. You can't try to say or ask people to manage it. Personally, if I don't want to make any trouble with you, I will not come back. And business thrives on repeat customers.
That's true.
As long as you cannot have repeat customers, your business is going down ultimately, right? So you keep meeting new people every now and then, but your business will only thrive when you have repeat customers, people who keep coming back and who are committed to your product. And how that happens is for you to develop a spirit of excellence. The Bible tells us about Aholiab and Bezalel. It says the Spirit of God was on the inside of them. They had excellence. They were gifted in all manner of craftsmanship. They were skilled at what they do. I've talked about product knowledge. I've talked about skill. You have to become a master of your craft. You have to know what you're talking about. If you're a coach, right? I coach people online. I coach people offline. I speak at conferences, both in the church and to corporate organizations. I have to be good at what I do. I have to know my craft. I have to be able to communicate effectively to people so that when my name is mentioned, when I'm not in the room, my product can speak for me because it's excellent. My delivery would speak for me because it has the spirit of excellence on it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And well, I just would like to say that you have a YouTube channel. If anybody wants to connect with you, they can do that either on all the social medias. Actually, I will link all your links down here. And when you were talking, you'll be talking about diligence. We should have a unique selling proposition. We should know the way to market our products. But if you have all these in place, but yet you do not have a team that's capable of going through what you know as an entrepreneur, how do you make it happen? Do you go solo, do it all by yourself?
So any great vision requires a team. Any great vision requires a team. If your goal or your vision for your business is just to reach a few people, well, then maybe that's something that you can handle by yourself. But you can't make a lot of money actually from that, right? So there are, even in my own profession as a coach, as a mentor, I still do need a team of people to do a lot of things for me, right? So there are a couple of ways around it. You can either have a team that you build and train, or you can buy a team, right? And when I say buy a team, is to engage vendors, to engage people. Like, for example, if you have an online business, you will need graphic designers, you will need web developers, you will need people who will develop your apps, you will need a lot of people who would edit your videos. You're on YouTube, you're pushing your videos on YouTube, on your YouTube channel. You will need people who would edit these things for you. And there are platforms where you can, actually engage the services of these kinds of people that I talk about, like Fiverr. There's so many other platforms that you can reach out to these service providers who would edit videos for you, design your graphics. But what I really truly encourage people to do is to build a team. All right. So how do you build a team? How do you get people to believe in your vision? And that's what I'm talking about. I started talking about how that it is important that you, as the person who is the carrier for that vision, that you learn how to sell that vision to people. You must know how to sell it. You must now, here's what I know about selling to people. If you are not confident about what you're putting out, if you sound unsure of your product, you will transfer that feeling, that energy, you will transfer it to the people that you're talking to, right? So you, as the person who has the idea, who has the vision, you must be confident about what it is that you're putting out to people. You must come and speak to them in a manner that encourages them to be curious enough to join you. It has to be exciting. It has to be a journey, right? And there are people who would definitely want to join you on that journey. Now, as you try to recruit people, what kind of people do you look out for? Sometimes you find people who are skilled but not trustworthy.
Mm.
Sometimes you find trustworthy people but no skill. So, but at the end of the day, you will discover that at every stage in your development, in my book, one of the things that I didn't mention, actually, if this is okay to say it, I do have a couple of books on Amazon. It's a particular book I wrote about monetizing your ideas. And I talked about the different phases of the idea development, right? So if there's the excitement phase, there are different phases. And for all these phases that you go through in your business or in the development of your idea, there are certain people that you will need, right? So there are times where you need capable people, right? There are times where you need loyal people, right? So, but the thing is, you have to determine what kind of team you need for your business. And once you've determined that sort of team that you need, you begin to, how many people do you need to do what you need to do? What do you need? All right. So what is the compensation plan for these people? What will keep them inspired? How do you inspire them to want to work with you? You know, what's the motivation for them? You have to understand that everybody cares about themselves. It's a factual truth, right? So what is the need for them? What is the benefit to them? So when you sell benefit as the person who is selling the vision, when you tell them, listen guys, this is what I'm trying to do, this is what I'm trying to create. I'm trying to create a product that will reach out to millions of people around the world. And then even if you sold this product for $10 per piece, right? And we're selling millions of products all over the world, globally. You see that you're painting a picture that this is a big project, right? And people like to identify with things that are big, things that are, seemingly successful from the onset. So, inspire people by understanding that product that you're offering, and your ability to also inspire them would, be drawn from that product knowledge that you have. Right. And, once you consistently do this, you're inspiring them, you're talking to them about the vision, you're talking to them about that particular idea and how it will benefit them. Once that consciousness is on their minds, like there's so much to benefit from this business, then obviously they will give you that support.
If you are an entrepreneur at this moment in time, where there's COVID, where there's lockdown, where you hardly find people to market to, you are not in a digital business, but you run a business, you are doing a buying and a selling, and everything seems like a halt for an entrepreneur in these days. What do you advise to how do you advise us to market our business, or how do you advise us to progress with our business?
Okay, so basically, if you give me an idea for a particular product, I can say, but there's practically no product that you couldn't sell online at this time. People sell food, people sell services, people sell all sorts online, right? So in this whole 2020, when there's been a whole lot of the lockdown situation, you can have platforms online where people can go and see that product, and once they pay for it, you can deliver it to them. Right? So you do not actually have to have your physical shop open, like in some cases or in some places around the world. We saw that it wasn't possible to have your physical shop open because of the lockdown in several places, right? So, but I went to a particular shop not too far from my house, and I really loved what they did. So there was, when you go to the shop, they put up a notice: you're not allowed to come into the store, right? But you can place orders for the things that you need. So you just write what you need, the product, the brand, you just write it and send them a WhatsApp message.
Nice.
They will reply you with the price of everything. This is a physical store. Because of the lockdown, they're not allowed to let people in. But this is what they did to still remain in business. Now, business is about being innovative, you're being flexible enough, adaptable to come up with ideas. So how do you remain in business? I was so fascinated by that. Like, just send them a message on WhatsApp and they reply you with the price If you agree, you place the order, and they tell you when to pick up. So you just come at the gate and they give it to you. That's it. You don't enter into the store, right? And once you confirm your order by making payments, and you make payments online, right? So there's so many different ways that people can, leverage the sales of their products and services, even in a lockdown situation. A lot of people call themselves entrepreneurs, but one key thing about an entrepreneur is your ability to think, your ability to come up with ideas, right? So if you're coming up with fascinating ideas and bam, there's a lockdown. Nobody planned for it. Nobody anticipated this lockdown. But we're here. So the question is, what do we do? So if you have a team, you sit down with your team, you brainstorm, how do we reach our people? They can come to us. Can we go to them? Can we send out dispatch riders to them with the products? So do we need to call these people and tell them, listen, I understand that you cannot come to us, but be rest assured that we will come to you. And if the cost of delivery would be too much, can we work out something where it is shared both ways? So it's all about innovation, coming up with innovative ideas so that you still remain in business. Another thing about remaining in business is the cash flow has to be flowing. So money has to keep coming in, right? So if money is not coming in, you can as well just close shop. Eventually, you will get tired because no money is coming in.
Thank you so much for that. In our side of the world where there is not enough capital to start a business, we have a lot of entrepreneurs who have brilliant ideas, but there's no one to help them to start a business. But they are willing to. The government is not giving funds to do that. But when you are an entrepreneur and you have a vision, are there ways to start a business with zero capital? Is there any way to cut down this person who needs to give you that cash to start a business? Or is it forget your ideas, forget about your dreams, and then halt it?
Okay, so in my experience coaching and mentoring entrepreneurs in Africa, one of the things I find that is a major challenge is access to capital, access to funds, right? And in this part of the world where interest rates can be up as much as 22% in my country, it's obviously a no-no for a start. Nobody even funds you as a startup, right? So if you don't have a good credit history, if you don't have a good history, basically no bank is going to touch you. None of those financial institutions is going to give you money. And here's the thing. I was speaking to a particular young man and I said to him, I said, if your father, mother, brothers, those are your immediate family that you can try to access funds from. If they're not willing to fund you, you have to think there's obviously something wrong in that mix. Because if I'm your brother and I see that you're actually working hard on a dream and I have the available funds to support you, it's the natural thing to do because I see you, striving hard, you're working hard, that all things considered, like, I'm a person who has a good heart, right? Because there are people whose hearts are just wicked. And I'm not talking about those kind of people, but I'm just talking about your immediate family. One of the ways that you can truly access funds would be from your immediate family and friends, right? So can you sell the idea to family and friends? They may not want to support you because you haven't provided enough evidence to show that you understand the business. If I ask you a couple of questions, I would know whether or not you know what you're talking about. How are you going to repay this money, right? So it's not just about accessing funds. You must know that borrowed funds must be replaced. There's cost of funds. You must know that, or you must understand the term for the loan, like how long should that money be in your possession, or what's the plan to return the money? So these are questions that people would ask you. What is your profit margin? How large is your market? You can say you need $10,000, for example, to start a business. And I ask you how large is your market and you're not sure. You don't even know who your target market is. So you don't understand how the money, what's your return on investment, right? If you invest $10,000 in this business, over a period of 1 year, what's the percentage of return on that investment? These are things that you must know. That's why I talked about product knowledge. Some people have product knowledge in terms of the actual product or the service. Like I know my craft, I understand it. But do you also understand the business side of what it is that you're offering? The business side, I mean the money side, right? So if this product was sell or retail for $100, right? How many of these products do you need to sell to break even? How many of these products do you need to sell to get to a place where your business can operate on its own without needing that external funds? And they want to know how you will pay back the money. Every investor wants to know how you pay back the money. Some would ask you to pay back with interest, and there's different forms of investments that you can access, right? So there's grants, and that I've been a beneficiary of a government grant in my home country. We're required to write business plans, and I wrote business plans, and my own business plan was chosen. We went through a process, and the grant was given. A grant is finance or funding that you don't have to pay back, right? So you can get a grant, which is advisable for a startup, or you can talk to your friends and family to support you, or you can look for investors. Now, investors can come in with their funds as equity in your business, right? So let's say I want to invest in your business and I don't have the time. I'm busy with my own business, but I have money to invest. You need money, you have the idea, you have the time to run and make that business work. So you sell your idea to me, I bring my money as my equity contribution to that business. So if you give me equity in that business and we negotiate, as you are setting up that company, I can say because I'm providing all the funds, I want 51% shares in that company. So what that says is that I'm a majority shareholder in that business, and then you get 49%, right?
Yes.
As the owner of the idea. But this is what I also find with our people, talking with our people, I tell them this: 10% of something is better than 100% of nothing. You don't have the money, you don't have the experience. Now you find an investor who is crazy enough to believe in you because it's a major risk. That business can blow up and it will not work, right? I think when you look at Amazon, I think Jeff Bezos, is it 11? I'm not sure, 11 or 14% he owns in that company, in Amazon, right? To be the richest man in the world. Right. So most times we find that the reason most of our people remain where they are with fantastic ideas is because they're waiting for someone to give them money and they still want to own 100% of the company. And it doesn't work that way. So you've got to be flexible enough. If you have 3 people investing in your business and they want 20% each, that's one way to do it. They want 25% each. And then you are left with 25%. It is still better for you to, if the conditions are okay, you negotiate on those conditions. One other skill you need as an entrepreneur is your ability to negotiate, right? So you look at the deal, if it's good enough for you, and also ask for help. Ask people to advise you, which is something that most people are willing to do. Speak to lawyers, speak to accountants, speak to your business mentors. They will look at the deal and tell you if it's a good deal or not. All right. So when you look at it, you can hold on to that idea for the next 10 years. And you know what's the interesting thing about ideas? The longer you hold on to it, right? The more it is, what's the word I'm looking for? If you hold on to that particular idea for too long, after a while, you find that somebody else, maybe in Australia, is actually doing that thing, or someone else in South Africa is working on that idea, and you've just been holding on to it for too long, right? Someone said something to me: if you wait long, or if you wait too long, you wait wrong. If you wait too long, you wait wrong. So take your idea, put your team together. I'm not saying be in a hurry. I'm not saying be hasty. I'm saying look at the fine print. If you have a good deal, be open-minded enough to work on it, right? And to accept what is offered to you so that your dream or your idea can come to life, all right? So I talked about equity contribution. I talked about your friends and your family members. Another thing is to talk about angel investors, right? There are people who just want to angel investors. They have the funds, they have the money, and they just are consistently looking for businesses to invest in. Some of them will say, listen, I love your idea, especially for some of them, it might be just the human angle. Like your idea solves a human problem, like literally solve a problem that they are passionate about, right? So it might be that the person is passionate about children and you're developing an app that will help educate children, right? Because it's something they're passionate about. They will say to you, listen, I will fund your idea for 10%. Just give me 10%. All right. For them, they have the money. They're usually extremely wealthy. They have the money. If it doesn't work, they won't lose too much because they actually are funding that business for other sentimental purposes, right? And at the end of the day, but it is important that you work hard on that idea so that you're able to pay back your investors and give them what is due them.
Awesome. I wanted to ask this question. With this part of our world where there's so much corruption and there's so much people without integrity, is integrity something that you can still apply in your business? And does it really pay? Because when you are somebody who wants to do things the right way, you feel that your business is either not patronized because you don't want to cut corners. Is this something we still need to apply in our business in this day and age and in our part of the world?
Absolutely. One of the things that I see is that people respect integrity when they see it, right? There are a couple of ways to look at the word integrity. If you say you are going to deliver something on a specific day, specific time, that you do what you say you would do. That's what integrity means to me. If you say A, let it be A. If you want a product that will stand out, right? If you want a product that will be outstanding, then you have to be willing to do what other people are not willing to do. You have to. Now, there's your own integrity, and there is the integrity of your product, right? You can't say that a product is 100% organic, 100% organic, right? But at the end of the day, you know all the things that you have infused in that particular product that makes that statement a lie. But there's so many products out there. They'll tell you it's 100% organic, but it's not. Right. So integrity is simply stating the truth. In some cases, you would have to pay a price for it. But at the end of the day, the joy of an entrepreneur is not, we have really pushed the idea of money as the end result or as the main focus for the entrepreneur. But no, when you look at the people who are consistent or consistently growing in their business endeavors, you discover that money is not the focus for them. It's about providing solutions. That's always their focus. How do I make people's lives better? How do I provide services, products and services that changes people's lives, that enhances people's lives, right? And for that, integrity is a major player in that. If you want to do that, if you want to be consistent in that, you have to be a person of integrity. Develop products with integrity, right? So if you say this product will deliver ABC result, let your product have enough integrity to deliver ABC results, not just AB. If possible, over deliver, get to D, right? You promise C, but you get to D. That's right. That way, people continue coming back to that particular product. Products that lack integrity. Have you ever bought a product, you went to the shop, you saw this product, it was just fancy packaging, the branding was effective, and you got drawn to that particular branding. You take it home, you open the product, and you were like, oh my God, what did I just spend money on? And you're like, never again. Never again. That's what happens because it lacks integrity. You have seen, or you go to all these fast foods, you look at the menu board.
Yes.
And
amazing.
Then you see this juicy burger and you're like, oh my God, this is what I want. And they give it to you and you're wondering, like, you look at the product and you look at the picture and it does not match at all. You know, that's not integrity. All right.
Thank you so much. You just mentioned something about branding. And most of the times for entrepreneurs who have brilliant ideas, brilliant products, but then they lack branding. Are there any tips that we need to implement? Do you have anything for us about branding?
All right, here's I like what Muhammad Ali says. It says one in the eye is better than two in the ear. One in the eye is better than two in the ear. Before people taste your product, they see it. They
Yeah,
taste it with their eyes,
yeah,
right? So if you are not someone who is given to branding, like if you don't know what your brand should actually look like, it's not rocket science. You don't have to try to figure it out yourself. Engage the services of specialists. Engage the services of branding experts. Look at their work.
mm,
And like I said, there's different places, platforms online where you can find these people. Man, you go to Fiverr, you will see a whole list of graphic designers, animators, or video editors. You look at all these people, look at their work, see what they've done, because they will literally have a
yeah,
portfolio
yes,
on their profiles, and then you see the one that is best suited to what you want or what you're trying to achieve, then you engage them and pay them. So it's all part of your investment cost or your investment capital that you pay for proper branding, right? There's certain people who will look at your product, right? They're looking at that particular product, and because it doesn't look so
true.
good,
Mm,
they throw it aside.
mm,
And that product, if they took the time to actually get to use it, they would discover that it is very effective,
mm,
but the branding
mm,
has, just thrown it off,
mm,
right? So it's important. Branding is very, very important. That's what people see,
mm.
all right? So there's the external branding and there's the internal branding. The external branding is how the product looks, the service, how it looks. Now, let me give you an example, and a quick example. I was talking to someone online. Someone reached out to me on one of the platforms that I offer my services, and they wanted me to coach them on public speaking,
Yeah.
right? So he's asking me all kinds of questions just to make sure that I'm a good fit. And I said to him, listen, I'm very confident of the product that I offer. Listen, I'm so confident about what I'm going to offer you that I'm saying to you, after the first class, if you're
Yeah.
not happy with what you get your money back in full. You don't have to continue the class. And
Wow.
he laughed and he was like, he says, oh yes, okay, let's do this.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to develop yourself in such a way where you brand your product effectively enough to get a leg in the door and let the people
Mm,
have the opportunity to use your product because you are sure of that particular product that you have. And it also has being sure of that product that you have is what I call the internal branding, the integrity of the product.
good.
You know that this product will deliver what it says it will deliver.
Wow. Somebody said sometimes we as entrepreneurs are arrogant, but it's not arrogance that sells. It's confidence that sells. So we should watch that also. And when I see how we market as entrepreneurs or kingdom people, sometimes our marketing is limited because we want to create products that are either holy or acceptable in our sphere of life. So we are unable to market it to the outside world. What principles can we apply as persons and the whole anybody else who's listening to market our products or our ideas or our services?
Okay, basically, as a kingdom-minded person, the Bible says we are the light of the world, right? So we are the light of the world. That's how I see whatever I do. It has to be light. It has to be excellent. It has to come from a place of innovation. I have to develop myself to a place where because I'm an inventive thinker, I have to be inventive in my thinking, my ability to look at a process and develop solutions from that process that benefits people, right? So my product has to solve a problem,
Mm.
not just, you can't develop, there are people who are not members of the body of Christ who develop products for us.
Yes.
For example, the speakers that we use in churches, the chairs that we sit on, the microphones in our hands, developed by people who do not worship the God that we worship, right?
Yeah.
In most cases, that's what happens, right? The products that we use online for church services were developed by developers who do not even worship the God that we do worship, right? So here's what I'm saying. If your product solves a problem, if it solves a problem for humanity, doesn't matter which religion the people would be, it has to solve a problem for them. So you focus on identifying problems, because where you find in this whole COVID situation, a lot of problems came up, right? And the entrepreneurs who will do well going forward are the entrepreneurs who have the solutions to these problems. A lot of problems came up, a lot, and a lot of businesses have gone down because nobody anticipated a year like 2020. Doesn't matter where all their financial projections from IMF, from all of them, nobody anticipated what would happen this year, but we're here. So the entrepreneur is that person who is inventive in their thinking. They're very innovative enough to look at what is and begin to develop ideas to solve specific problems. You don't have to solve everything, right? You don't go chasing shadows, don't go chasing every single problem to solve within your environment, but identify one or two problems that you think you can provide the solutions to. And the wider the market for that solution, the better, right? And there's different products or service providers or people who develop products. They let the products go through R&D, research and development. They also get to a point where they do product testing, just to make sure, because you can think that this product actually solves a problem. Can you get a few people together? Can you test? Can you give out samples of the product that you have gotten, to get direct feedback from customers, from your would-be customers? Let them tell you what they think about that product, right? The information, the data that you get back from these people, it's what you now use in improving that particular product. Because if you don't do product testing, the market itself will probably reject that product, and you will not have another opportunity to launch it because it's already rejected. So that product testing is very, very crucial.
Awesome. You still haven't talked about the marketing. How do we market our products as entrepreneurs? What are the ways which we make marketing effective, not just throwing it out in the air, but making it an effective way to get return on our investment through marketing?
Okay, presently, the most effective way for entrepreneurs to market, to sell their products or services, is to sell online. Basically, there's different platforms. It used to be that you could grow your following organically on Facebook and on Instagram. That's almost impossible right now. All that is required for you to do is to use paid ads for your products and the services. Use paid ads for Facebook, for Instagram, for Google. And once you use those paid ads and you learn how to target to your specific target audience, let the people who need to see this particular product be the ones who see it, then you increase your conversion rate. It's not just enough for the whole world to see what you're selling. Or if I don't need it, then I'm not going to click on that link.
That's right.
And you don't have or stand a chance at converting my own sales because I'm not interested in that product. So where you need that technical skill, or you could get someone, again, you can always get someone to do it for you, someone who is good at it while you are still trying to learn. One of the things that I do as an entrepreneur is I don't like for people to hold me to ransom. If I pay you to do something, chances are I'm already learning how to do it, right? And because I can't do everything at every single time, so that's why I pay people to do things for me. But I also should have an idea. So what if you give me the wrong thing? What if you give me the wrong advice? I'll be like, no, sorry, this is what you did. But if I did not know, then people can basically give me anything and I'll pay for it, right? So marketing, Facebook, Instagram, Google, right? Use these platforms. Like I said, provide organic content on your page consistently. Now, one of the areas where, or two platforms where you can begin to have organic growth will be on LinkedIn. Have your personal page on LinkedIn and your business page on LinkedIn, and TikTok as well. TikTok also has organic growth at this time.
Really?
Right? It will come up to a point where it probably would be like Facebook and Instagram, where
Hmm.
that's literally you will just be putting out a lot of content unless you spend money.
Yeah.
You know, you won't really have that reach that you're looking for. And with Facebook and Instagram, why I love that form of marketing is that you basically can spend as little as $2 a day, $1 a day for
Yeah.
a long period of time. You budget, it's something that is budget friendly. With more money, when more money begins to come in, you put money into advertising. With what I do with coaching and consulting, I have people that I look up to who spend millions of dollars on Facebook ads,
Yeah.
right? So it literally, like, every day you go on Facebook, you see their ad every single day. When you put it together in the whole year, they're spending millions of dollars on Facebook ads. But are they making the money? The truth is they are,
Yeah.
because they have a good product, they have a good product branding, and they are putting the product in front of the people who need to see it. So their product is good, their marketing is good, their product is good, their branding is good, and their marketing is good. So these are the three basic components for getting to the fourth stage, which is conversion, having money, exchange of your goods or your services for that particular money. So if you put these things in place, ensure that your product actually solves a problem. It is a useless idea if it doesn't solve a problem. Doesn't matter how much you brand it, right? Doesn't matter how fancy it looks. It has to solve a problem. Someone brought a device to you right now,
Yeah.
and you took the device in your hand, but it's probably something you've never seen before. The first question on your mind is, what
What
is
does it
this?
do?
What does it do, right? And you'll be like, no, no, it doesn't do anything. You'll be like, are you serious? So it doesn't do anything. What you want to do is just take it and throw it in the bin. Like, it's useless to me. So imagine someone trying to sell you something that doesn't solve a problem for you. Chances are you won't buy.
No.
You won't spend your money on something that you don't have any
Use for.
emotional or social connection to. Like, it doesn't solve any problem for you. Whatever that problem that it's solving is, marketing.
Awesome. Now that you are on it, I would just like you to give you a few minutes left to just market yourself. I mean, tell us about your product, tell us about your events coming up, if there's any, tell us about your books, and please feel free.
Okay, so basically, I'm going to, with your permission, obviously, put out my the link, or just put out some information as with regards to where you can find my books,
Definitely.
and
Definitely.
where you can also uh, book me for workshops or seminars, virtual. We have, from time to time, we host virtual conferences, and then I do one-on-one coaching as well for business owners and for churches, and we do a couple of trainings, virtual trainings for people in different countries as well. So if you have a business, and then you have a team of your employees, you want them to be coached and mentored, we can set up those virtual conferences to basically bring in speakers, or if it's something that we'll do just by ourselves, bring in speakers who would empower, inspire your people, and provide you with the tools and the training that would help you move your business from where it is to the next level. So one of the things that we do as a business coach is to look at where you are, help you develop a plan, to help you strengthen that vision that you have, and help you develop a roadmap. There's always a pathway to attaining where you need to go. So here's the thing that will help you determine what that roadmap is. We coach you, we mentor you, and it's a process, right? So these are some of the services that we offer, and my social media handles will be at the bottom of your screen, so that you can always reach out and reach out to me directly on Instagram, Facebook, and all my other social media handles, and then we can take it from there.
Thank you so much. Thank you for spending time with us once again. Thank you for giving us part of your day, an hour. And I know if we exchange time with money, then that's a lot of money that we have taken from you that you didn't even charge us with. Thank you so much. So yes, listeners and viewers, we want to thank Datsun again for coming in to us to come and share so much depth of what he knows and what he has experienced over his entrepreneurial days and even still in. And so I'm going to link all his channels, his social media handles in there. Book him, invite him virtually. He's not only based in Nigeria, but you can do it virtual. Everybody's doing everything virtual. So you can hear what he has now, and you can expect that he will help you build your business, whichever level it is now, and give you much depth. So thank you once again for having time for us, and we appreciate you. So this is Doreen from the Side Hustle, where we make your business our business. Thank you for tuning in. Bye. Bye, that's it.
Bye. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.